Mas tá indo.
Galera do Heavy Culture entrando no ar, chamada extra no sábado, cada vez mais insanos e dementes e vivos, parafraseando o Arthur von Barbarian. Primeiramente, a gente sauda aí os nossos queridos colegas de Portugal, Antônio e Miguel. Muito bem-vindos. Portugal Connection. O Ivan tá num lugar diferente hoje, Ivan.
Na sala de ensaio. O Ivan tá na sala de ensaio.
Estou ensaiando aqui.
Isso. Olha, vai aí um riff. Um riff a Ivan. Vamos lá.
Um riff?
Vai lá um riff.
Qual riff que vocês querem aí?
É um qualquer, vá, siga para bingo. Não podemos perder tempo. Oh, yeah.
Vai ver essa barulheira ou não?
Fuck yeah, man.
O pessoal gostou aí, ó. O pessoal
Beleza?
Gostou. Oi, Ivan, eu vou pedir um cover ao vivo. Toca Your Surfer do Napalm
You
Death.
Suffer?
Essa.
Serve essa?
Pô, cara, ficou igual.
Mais uma vez, não?
Your Surfer. Mais uma.
Mais uma vez? Mais uma vez, então. Um pouco inusitado aí.
Foi o melhor
mas é o
cover
seguinte,
que eu ouvi.
é o maior cover. O vocal estava um pouco melódico, né?
Ah.
Seguinte, eu vou dar a inscrição do canal aí da letrinha para vocês continuarem aí. Se inscrevam no canal, toquem no sininho, que nem diz o Miguel, fica ansioso por essa parte. Comentem e participem. Beleza? E sigam aí com o Jorge aí, com o Miguel, com o Undergang e com o nosso convidado especial.
Muito bem.
Valeu,
Bom
Ivan.
ensaio para vocês. Bom ensaio para vocês.
Valeu!
Mais 100 vezes vai ficar bom esse cover.
Vai.
Eu vou botar o vocal meio Michael Kiske na próxima vez, acho que fica um pouco melhor.
A galera tá
Então,
motivada
nós
nesse
aqui de
ensaio.
Portugal
Para
desejamos
quem não
um bom
conhece,
ensaio para
esse aqui que
vocês.
está atrás aqui do mim aqui é o Miguel, é o Guilherme Silvano, que ele participa direto com nós no canal.
É isso aí.
Opa.
Grande abraço para vocês.
Beleza? Um abraço.
Abraço aí,
E até
Ivan.
mais. Valeu.
Bom ensaio.
E antes de começar aqui, a gente vai com a vinhetinha, né, Miguel?
Vamos a isso.
Vinhetinha rápida. E vamos de Death Metal, porra.
It's a pizza pussy.
It's Italian.
Italian is like this. You have to do this.
Let's go. Bora.
Então, nós aqui de Portugal podemos dar votos de boas-vindas e uma vez mais pedir para as pessoas participarem subscrevendo o canal, assim ficam a saber quais são as lives que vão acontecer e recebem as notificações nos vossos computadores e telemóveis. António, esta é uma live muito especial porque temos aqui uma das tuas bandas favoritas de sempre, Undergang, que desde ali, estamos a falar ali do início, de meados de 2000 e 2005, por aí, não é? 2009, mas eles em 2005 já andavam a conspirar certamente algumas coisas, porque os Undergang vieram dar continuidade àquele death metal, enfim, mais sujo. Até porque eu vou pedir ao António que nos explique aqui em direto mesmo o porquê de chamar o Sewer Death Metal. Olá, António.
Boa pergunta. Ora bem, Sewer Death Metal ou Kill Town Death Metal tem a ver com a cidade de Copenhague e os sons mais sujos. Também tem muito a ver com o local de ensaio das bandas em Copenhague a ser em autênticas catacumbas e muito perto dos esgotos. E por isso é que ficou com esse nome. Também o tipo de música com uma voz gutural, mas muito mais grave do que o costume, do que o ser humano está habituado. Mesmo que ouça death metal do mais extremo, acabou por abalar os ouvidos de muita gente durante muito tempo, e daí a alcunha de sewer death metal, mas é mais kill town death metal.
Okay, so now we go in English, saying hello to Undergang and welcome to the Heavy Culture family, and thank you for listening to Portuguese, either from Portugal or Brazil. As you know, it sounds different. So the guys from Brazil, I believe we can say that they sing a little bit, and we are a little bit mellow. The Portuguese from Portugal is quite mellow for them. But anyway, we understand each other, and we are doing this transatlantic connection, and very happy to do the connection between Europe and the America. And of course, since this is on YouTube live, everyone can go to our chat and place their questions, and we will be happy to to ask the questions for everyone. And guys, we are so happy that you are with us, and we hope that this will be an hour of some good news. Let's hope so. Welcome, you guys.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us. Corona is over. Good news.
So first question. First, I'll say the question in Portuguese for our Brazilian and Portuguese viewers understand exactly what's going on, and then I'll ask the question in English. And this is how the interview will work from now on. Portanto, a primeira pergunta é a pergunta mais básica. Como é que eles entraram no metal, no mundo do metal? As memórias dos tempos dos tempos passados e dos tempos do primórdio dos diversos membros dos Undergang até chegarem à banda, à formação da banda, e como é que ela começou e porquê, e tudo que esteja à volta disso. So the first question is an obvious one. Is we want to go down the memory lane for you guys, and we want to talk a little bit about what got you into metal, each one of you, and what are your earliest rock and metal memories, and also, of course, with death metal, and then talk about the beginning of the band, how the band started, and why the band started. So go ahead.
Go ahead.
I can tell about the first time I listened to death metal. I was like 12 years old or something, and I was sitting in my parents' basement, and I had borrowed a CD with D-side, and it was Legion, and I put it on, and it starts with the creepy intro, and I was like very scared, and this was like something I had never heard before, so it really made a big impact on me, and I've been listening to death metal ever since, and thought it would be fun to try and play it, and I still try to play it.
I was like, I don't know if I was 12 or 13, listening to Obituary Slowly Rot at my local like handball stadium or like hall where I played. I was not that old. I was still playing like where I was learning you could play football or handball, and I was playing handball and listening to Obituary Slowly Rot for the first time, and Party's vocals just got me into death metal. I did not leave.
Well, what caught my attention to the dark side was actually when I pulled out the Born Again from my mother's record collection. I've always been looking at her record and being fascinated with the covers and all that shit.
Yeah.
I pulled out a fucking baby with the devil's horns in it, and I put it on, and I was like, what the fuck is this? That's whoa! I was in another world. And there you go. So, and from then on, things had to just get darker, heavier, faster, and just more insane.
Yeah.
And you start to seek out shit. And back then, I'm a wee bit older than the other guys in the band. So
Way older.
Back then,
He's 72.
you judged the band. You did not have money, to buy records. They were expensive, but you judge from the cover. You see what label, who, you knew Combat was doing some badass shit. I was in a lot of thrash and a lot of death metal, back and forth, and Scream Bloody Go and Leprosy and all that shit. And Dark Angel, Exodus and all that shit. I grew up like that stuff. And it just exceeds from then, So,
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, my name is David. When I was a young boy, I listened to Domination with Morbid Angel, and I thought this sounded sick, and I just wanted to be in on it. And how can I make this sound even more brutal? So here we are now. Everything's stupid. Things are heavy.
Nobody, Antonio, desculpa. Nobody mentioned Carcass and Recapitulation because you guys sometimes, sound a little bit, reminds a little bit of that period of Carcass. Weren't you guys following Carcass?
We all love Carcass, but I guess it wasn't the introduction. But that might have been.
We don't even have a driver's license.
It might have been a later blueprint.
So I was browsing the internet today or yesterday, I don't remember, and I saw a comment on the Sides Legion, and it was someone from New Zealand, and when he listened to the introductions with the ships, he didn't understood first if it was to scare him or just to arouse him, because he was from New Zealand and he didn't understand. So
I've got a story about that one, actually. Yeah. We used to smoke a lot of weed back then.
Yeah.
And we were in school, before high school and all that shit. And this guy, Mark, an old friend, he thought he said, I miss my flesh. Whatever the fuck that means, but he was like, I miss my flesh.
Okay, let's translate the first one. António, eles mencionaram algumas das bandas que fizeram parte da fase inicial que eles começaram a escutar death metal e de alguma maneira foram-se apresentando. Agora, eu não consegui perceber muito bem o porquê de, como diz na tua pergunta, o porquê de terem feito, enfim, de terem iniciado então em 2009, porque é que a banda começou. Eu acho que agora vamos a essa parte, uma vez que é importante nós termos uma noção de qual é a gênese dos Undergang. So you guys forgot to mention, why did you guys started the band Undergang after listening to those death metal icons that you mentioned before? So can you tell us who started all this?
At first it was Anders and I, and we just met under various circumstances, and we both wanted to play death metal for a long time, but at least for my own conditions, I didn't feel secure and safe enough to play the music that I really cared about, because I've never been a great guitarist and I was still just learning, but I knew what I was wanting to do, but it took a while to get to that point. So after a couple of years where I've been writing songs that I thought would be for the fitting death metal band, what I wanted to express, I met Hannes, and then we started this up with another friend, and then it just evolved from here, and now we are at the perfect lineup, and finally
yes, we can make. I agree.
You shut up.
Okay, I don't agree.
He's right. It's all right. He's like a secret fifth member.
Yeah.
We just don't know yet.
Is Antonio writing? Antonio, andas a escrever as letras em dinamarquês?
Yes. I am the guy who writes the lyrics in Danish.
People don't know. People don't understand. It's not even real Danish, but it looks that way.
Yeah,
it's in Portuguese, but... Muito bem. António, então explica lá, quer dizer, eles juntaram-se ali numa fase inicial, depois ainda não sabiam tocar muito bem.
Eles não sabiam tocar muito bem e o David começou com a guitarra e conheceu o Anders e foi com ele que formaram a banda e queriam tocar, não sabiam muito bem o que é que haviam de tocar no início, mas começaram a tocar um género de death metal e a introduzir os elementos característicos deles. E a banda partiu daí. Foi tendo algumas mudanças ao longo da história, até chegarem ao line-up atual, que são estas 4 pessoas que vêm na imagem, que já está junta há alguns anos, e também, na minha opinião, é claramente o melhor line-up de Undergang de sempre, e ainda bem que assim é, e oxalá continue durante muitos anos daqui para a frente.
Olha, eu talvez sugerisse que fôssemos até o outro lado do Atlântico e perguntar ao Jorge se tem aqui, do lado do Brasil, aquela pergunta relacionada com o death metal dinamarquês e especificamente dos Undergang. JK.
Eles tiveram alguma influência, né, do old death metal sul-americano, em especial aqui do Brasil, né? Se eles... Eu percebi eu costumo chamar de death metal primitivo. Eu não gosto do death metal bonitinho. Eu gosto do primitivo, que é o sarcófago, que é a primeira fase de Sepultura, que ali os caras, né, estavam numa fase, como é que se diria, primitiva do negócio, né? Mais ou menos isso, Miguel.
Okay, guys, the question from Brazil makes sense, thinking about the early death metal, and you know, he was saying that he likes the raw death metal, the old school death metal from bands like Sepultura at the beginning, and also Sarcófago, and he was asking if you guys follow the scene, that kind of scene. If there is any kind of influence from the South American death metal from that period, and if you guys, you know, in any way felt the influence from a band like Sepultura or even Sarcófago.
I like to say something about Sarcófago. Yeah, I once I read in Slayer Mag #7 about this band, and I ordered the tape and shipped the $5 and never sold any tape. So
lost $5.
That's my experience with Sarcófago. Sepultura, I've heard of them. Yeah,
you didn't lose a lot.
All that aside, I think that it's all bands that we appreciate for what it is and what they've done, but for what we do, it's been a little bit more focused on like the Scandinavian and the Finnish and the British and the American scene as for what it is. I'm a little bit aware about what's going on in South America, etc., but I was focused a little bit more on what was somewhere nearer to here, and then the American things, because that's what I got presented.
Okay.
Not to overlook, but that's what I know.
Okay.
I just like the very low tune guitars, the very low vocals and stuff like that, and that was seemingly something I got from South America.
Ok, perfect. Portanto, a resposta, o Matt, sim, aliás, tentou comprar uma cassete de Sarcófago quando ela saiu, mas enviou $5 para alguém e está até hoje à espera da cassete. Portanto, ele não teve muita influência de Sarcófago, um bocado por causa disso. O David depois concluiu que os Undergang foram mais influenciados por bandas da Escandinávia e da cena finlandesa e também da cena britânica e americana, e não tanto pela cena da América do Sul, embora eles conheçam muito bem a cena, principalmente mais atual, da América do Sul, e gostam bastante de bandas dessa zona do mundo. Portanto, eu seguiria então, se calhar, para a próxima pergunta, que é a relação, como é que começou a relação deles com as atuais editoras, selos no Brasil, correto? E como é que os conheceram e como é que chegaram à relação que têm hoje. So, guys, next question is about your labels. And Jesus asked me to say hello to you guys. And
who's Jesus? Who's Jesus?
Jesus from above. From above.
Jesus saves?
Says hello. Jesus says hello. And what we wanted to know is how your relationship with your current label started, and how did you get in touch with them?
They just gave us a lot of money, and so so we just went with that. And
okay, so there's an explanation for your yacht, right?
I know, yeah. So now we're just like traveling by boat and limousines. But people don't expect when you play death metal, but still, we're just getting there. Nah. First off, when we did the first album, he was already in touch, Jesus.
Okay.
Before we even, I was just doing promo tape, and I was trying to send that out, and because of like forums, I think I had a friend helping out spreading the flyer for this promotional tape we were doing at the time that we wanted to be our debut album. He got in touch even before we did that, so I just was stuck with like a bunch of promotional tapes we were supposed to use to get an album deal, and I just sold them as I gave him away as tapes or whatever for what was actually just going to be Indhenter Døden, our debut album.
Okay.
And ever since then, he's always been a friend of the band, and it only came to grow even closer. So nowadays, I consider him a personal friend. And then we did a mistake, sort of, working with extreme music, which didn't give us what we kind of hoped for, and it was a little bit of a different experience with a little bit more on professional terms with contracts, which I didn't like. But in the end, and then after that, we then we're moving on to Dark Descent, but maybe we should just stay to Misako Noho right now.
Yeah.
So that's what we got to with that there. He's just been a friend and a support of the band since the beginning.
He's a cool guy.
He is.
Most definitely.
He's a great guy. He's a great guy.
He is. And he's a friend, and he is, I very much admire and appreciate and respect what he does with his label. So we're very happy to be Misako Noho recording artist band, or whatever you say.
So the best death metal band and the best death metal label. That's a perfect match.
Your words. I would never say anything like that. But he's
no,
cool.
that's what. This is what Jesus paid me to say. You know. That's basically it. Ok, so, portanto, os Undergang iniciaram a relação com a atual editora, o atual selo, Misako Noho de Inglaterra, através de fóruns e de amigos em comum que tinham com o Jesus, que é o dono da editora Misako Noho, que os contactou ainda antes deles lançarem a promo tape, que acabou por ser o primeiro álbum, e começou uma longa relação com eles, que ainda hoje dura. Falaram de um percurso um bocadinho acidentado na Extreme Music de Espanha também, mas que durou pouco tempo, e a Misako Noho e atualmente também a Dark Descent dos Estados Unidos, do Matt Calvert, são as editoras deles, e foi assim que começou, que começou e se mantém ainda a relação com as editoras. Queres fazer a próxima pergunta, Miguel?
Faço até porque eu vou-lhes pregar uma partida e vou deixar a pergunta só em português, que é para ver se eles gostam, pelo facto de lançarem as letras só em dinamarquês. Okay. Porque nós ficamos todos a ver navios cada vez que olhamos para as letras, uma vez que é uma das línguas que não é de fácil conhecimento, não é para todos, podemos pôr nesse prisma. Ok, guys, porquê que largaram os pseudónimos depois do terceiro álbum?
Please repeat.
Porquê que largaram os pseudónimos depois do terceiro álbum? That's the issue. Why do you guys...
playing with you guys.
I'm playing with you because your lyrics are in Danish, so for us, it's very hard to understand a thing like the same is to you to understand Portuguese. So I was asking, why did you guys drop the pseudonyms up after the third record?
Because they were fucking stupid. I'm not sure what we were thinking.
Why you used them at the first place?
Because we thought it was cool.
Yeah. Oh, it was.
It's a long story. Like
you were very young, right? You were very young.
me and David, we both had these nicknames like from way back, because I mean I was like singing in a grindcore band, and so my nickname was Social, like Youth of Today had Ray of Today, and David, he had his distro and was called Torture Død, and so we used these names with Undergang, and then we had to come up with a name for Casper as well. It was a bit silly in a way, but I mean now we are super grown up, and we use our real names instead. So
I like the idea of super grown up.
Yeah, we have matured a lot during our career.
We hired two new people who are older than us, and they both have kids and families. So now we're matured.
Muito bem, eles então acham que estava na altura de crescer e de largar os pseudónimos, dizendo que foi um período, eles brincam com a situação dizendo que foi estúpido. Mas lá está, faz parte do crescimento pessoal, já há famílias e crianças envolvidas, por isso largaram os pseudónimos, não é? Eu acho que já viste o que era ter que chamar aquilo ao pai ou ao tio.
Era difícil.
António, segue em frente.
Ok, portanto a próxima pergunta é um bocado no seguimento da brincadeira do Miguel com eles a falar em português, e vou perguntar porque é que cantam em dinamarquês, porque não é nada comum. Normalmente estas bandas, quando não são inglesas, cantam em inglês e todos os títulos são em inglês, e também para saber se isso representou algum tipo teve alguma resistência por parte de editoras e se representou algum tipo de obstáculo. Okay, guys, so what we want to know is, why do you use lyrics and titles in Danish? And if you found any resistance to that decision in the beginning of your career, or did you found that to be an obstacle of some kind? Because it's not normally bands that from non-English speaking countries also sing and have titles in English. And for example, in Portugal, I don't know of any band that sings death metal and that has titles in Portuguese and that is successful outside Portugal at the same time. So that's the question for you guys.
For me, it's more personal in a way, because it's in Danish, because your own language is like, it's closer to you in a way, and you can use the language in a way that I don't think you could if it was like English. You make more like puns and just have basically a closer relationship to the language that you're using. And to me, it's just it's never been a problem. But also, we didn't really think when we started the band that we were supposed to like go out in the world and play and such. So it was not really a problem. But maybe David can add something.
The lyrics is just so offensive. If they were in English, we'd all be in jail.
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
That's cool.
We'll just leave it at that. Both of those options, and then you can choose.
Okay. So continuing with that, the English being so offensive, can you tell us a little bit about what kind of themes do you usually write, and if the albums have some kind of theme on the album itself, or is just different stories on different songs?
I'm not sure this is fit for the internet, is it? Really? I mean,
You can answer in Danish if you are more comfortable.
We need to go to the dark web first, and then we'll explain in detail. Things are pretty much just the usual gory death metal lyric subject. I guess it kind of makes sense. Some of the words you can still make the idea of, I guess, even speaking in English and all. But I just wanted to like being a little bit picturesque in the way it is. So you just describe some very gory, gross scenarios or stories that you want to fit with like the music you come up with, and it's usually based around. We try to come up with a title we think is fun or brutal, and then write the lyrics based around that to make
based around the title of the album.
Rarely that though, just the name, the titles of the song.
Okay.
And then just take it from there though. But yeah, as Anders was saying before, we just try to go with something that kind of fun. So a lot of people outside Denmark will lose out, but it's not that much of a science or anything like super deep and revolutionary. But we just try to make it fun at the same time. It's like something that grows people out, but at the same time, we make something it'll make you smile.
And we are still waiting for the rest of the world to learn Danish. So
yeah, I'm trying.
Actually, it's kind of fun to I've always been writing in English as well. But to explore, yeah. Oh my God, I know. But to write in Danish, actually, to seek around all the different old words and stuff like it, just having fun with it, using your own language is as well.
It's easier. Okay.
It's not necessarily easy, actually.
It's sort of even more difficult, I think.
We also include, sayings. You've got like stupid sayings, and we sort of drag them in and use them in the lyrics as well, and the time, like an ironical perspective, also. So
let me add a point here, because we had Eric Cutler from Autopsy, and he's a big fan of those gory movies and horror movies. Do you guys also get some influence by watching this kind of film? And also, what could you suggest? Imagine this in Danish. Is there any kind of cinema industry, cinema that goes around those corners?
A little bit, not that much though. No. We had a few. We tend to try to use Danish samples from horror movies and various movies on our music, but we tend to use the same ones. Well, the same one for several releases by now, and then some other bits too. It's kind of hard. But as for like international movies, then watching various splatter movies has definitely had an influence on what you want to write about. Sometimes when you come up with like, this will be a fun name for a song, and then you base that specific gory scenario to be like a song, something like that.
And you guys also like snuff movies?
I've never seen one.
Not real snuff movies.
I watch snuff movies all the time.
Yeah. My lawyer said I shouldn't reply to this answer on.
Miguel.
What's your favorite?
Guys, we have a question from let me just we have a question from Rezi Diandra. I hope I'm saying it at least the best possible way. Thank you, Rezi. Can you tell us a story, the story behind the intro of Eder Optionen? It was told it was from a movie Side's Time that actually he's yelling. By the way, any recommendations for Danish horror movie? It's the same question I asked before. So, guys, let's reply to Rezi.
I can say about the first part that it's correct what he writes, and the guy in the sample, he is yelling, "Come forth and show your face! Come forth and show your ugly face!" And then he gets killed. I think it's been a while since I've seen the movie, but and that's a pretty recommendable horror movie, by the way.
We don't have a lot of great Danish horror movies, but yeah, she's the team we've been using for several samples by now because it's fun for what it is.
Then you could probably mention like Night Watch, Nattevagten,
of course, yeah.
and
Yeah, that's a great movie.
maybe
actually.
some smaller independent ones like Grotesque and I can't remember the English title, but you guys can look it up.
That's a few, but it's hard because it's all just in Danish, really. Though a lot of the
It's
movies
not going to be easy.
not the Night Watch one that got remade in America, but that one is wimpy. What's the Danish one? It's really cool though.
Okay.
Now I'll give a hard mission to Antonio, asking to translate the last 10 minutes. I hope he remembers. António, vamos a isso, à tradução.
I don't remember a lot of it because I'm drinking beer, but I'll try. So basicamente estávamos a perguntar porque é que cantam em dinamarquês e porque é que as letras são em dinamarquês e os títulos. E eles basicamente disseram que nem pensaram nisso no início, porque também não tinham como objetivo uma carreira internacional. E além disso, para eles é mais, não fácil, mas é mais imediato, porque eles usam muito calão dinamarquês e muitos ditados próprios da Dinamarca que não têm tradução para... Okay, try not to kill him before the end of the interview, please.
It's pizza. He's used to it.
Okay.
Danish pizza, Danish beer, Danish lyrics, Danish death metal.
Danish everything. Portanto, basicamente é isso. É a explicação pela qual eles, além de que as letras, se estivessem em inglês, a esta altura eles provavelmente já estariam presos. Depois falou-se muito sobre filmes e se há alguma associação aos filmes de terror dinamarqueses. Eles deram alguns títulos, alguns dos quais eu nem me atrevo a tentar repetir, porque estão em dinamarquês, mas eles disseram que é muito fácil procurar por eles no Google, portanto, eu como nem sequer sei como escrever, não vai ser muito fácil procurar, mas pronto, hei de lá chegar um dia destes.
Não, o Google ajuda-nos porque basta escrever cinema dinamarquês de terror ou de horror, porque infelizmente o Google não está adaptado ao nosso português europeu, e isso leva-me ali até ao JK. Jorge, eu sei que não se fala de boca cheia, mas nós somos contra as regras, por isso eu vou novamente solicitar que daí do Brasil venham. Por isso, mais uma pergunta desse lado.
A gente está percebendo aqui no chat o pessoal se manifestando, né, sobre a melhor banda de death metal após anos 90, né? Os anos 90 foi uma década bem marcante, né, do estilo. Como eles veem as bandas atuais, né, e o que eles atribuem esse sucesso do Undergang, né, que veio cativar esse público aí dos anos 90, né? Qual é a visão deles das novas bandas? Nessa linha, Miguel, por favor.
Okay, so guys, Jay was, complimenting some thoughts that you can see on our chat. That you guys have a position of one of the greatest death metal bands, nowadays. And how did you guys look at for this important genre, which is death metal, that has been growing a lot, and there were lots of let's keep it calling important bands from the 90s. How do you guys see that you belong to that position now, being one of the representations of the actual death metal bands from Northern Europe? How do you guys look at that, and how do you guys think that your success comes from?
I'm happy that people see it that way. Personally, I don't really think about it like that. We've always just made music that we thought it was fun to make, and we've had a good time doing it. and we've been lucky that a lot of people apparently they have a great experience with it and kind of enjoy it with us doing what we do. So, but thank you.
Where's some money? I didn't even know at all.
Where's the money? Where are the drugs? Where are the women?
As the new guy in the band, I can say that in comparison to the other bands I've been with, that the big difference in where Undergang is compared to the other bands I've been working with is hard work and just not doing it the Danish way, which is typically making good music and rehearsing a lot, but keeping it in the rehearsal room and never coming out. And Undergang has been focused on playing a lot of shows.
So you never came out.
And they played like a few hundred concerts or more, I think, across the entire planet, and was consistent with the releases and stuff like that. So it's not only like good music and musicianship, and but it's also like just hard work and being consistent, and just putting in the time and the effort, and sleeping around in floors and basements and foul places around the world, like just keeping it going. So they've been working really hard, and that's what benefits the band today.
Ok, you use the word that is magical, is consistency. Barrote, concordas que a consistência de facto é a chave principal do sucesso dos Undergang?
Sim, concordo, e também, tal como disse o Martin, é uma das características que ele mais reparou, porque ele toca em várias bandas, e quando se juntou aos Undergang experimentou na primeira pessoa porque é que eles têm tanto sucesso, porque a maioria das bandas dinamarquesas ensaia e trabalha muito, é verdade, só que raramente saem de casa, digamos assim. E eles não, eles trabalham muito, mas fazem tudo por tudo para divulgar o som deles por esse mundo fora, com as diversas turnés. Estão constantemente em turnê pela Europa e também nos Estados Unidos. Não tenho certeza que tenham tocado alguma vez no Brasil, isso não tenho a certeza, é algo que podemos perguntar. E se têm intenções de ir tocar lá. Mas sim, isso claramente que se nota. A consistência deles está aí, no trabalho duro e também de saírem de casa, da zona de conforto. Estão sempre em turnê e sempre a divulgar a música pelo mundo fora.
Eu acho que podemos aproveitar e ir direto para essa questão. Guys, have you ever played in South America and especially Brazil? And are you guys planning to go there after all this pandemic scene is over?
No one is.
I hope we'll be able to go there someday, but we haven't been there so far. But it would be nice to do that one day.
Nice is a polite word, I would say. I really want to go. I mean, really want.
You want to try caipirinha? Is that right?
What?
You want to try caipirinha, the Brazilian drink. You drink a lot, you are sitting down, drink caipirinha.
I've had that. It's fucking excellent. I love it. I was more, into the more absurd thing. But hey, we'll talk when we're there.
Ok.
I'll meet you there.
Jorge, tens de te preparar. Quando os receberes aí no Brasil, dá-lhes caipirinha com fartura e eles depois caem para o lado.
Well, we just never had the offer, so we'd like to go. We've never been to South America.
That was the question that Mark Chagall was asking, if there should be a possibility of Undergang playing in the South America, and you already placed your thoughts about it. So we will look at the promoters. Aí está, eles estão disponíveis quando isto acabar, isto da pandemia e dos passaportes para poder viajar. Os Undergang estão à disposição. António, a próxima pergunta está situada, chuta.
A próxima pergunta tem a ver com já que estamos a falar do Brasil e eles nunca lá terem tocado, por que não fazerem uma apresentação e fazerem uma breve história de cada álbum que lançaram até agora, que já são alguns, incluindo um álbum ao vivo gravado nos Estados Unidos, e do artwork e tudo à volta dos álbuns, e também porque como é que eles conseguem, mesmo após terem uma vasta já discografia de álbuns, EPs, splits e tudo e mais alguma coisa, como é que eles continuam a conseguir soar tão frescos e podres ao mesmo tempo, com todas os lançamentos que vão tendo, e o último álbum, a minha opinião, claro, mas espero que seja de muita gente, não é exceção, é mais uma caminhada sempre a subir na escada do sucesso, vamos chamar assim, e a banda agora até já está a soar mais coesa com este novo line-up. E a impressão que nos dá a todos é que eles ainda só estão a aquecer, que muito mais vem a caminho. So guys, we see two JKs. Yeah. This is the drink. This is the drink working already.
I have to get a new one.
Okay, so let's take the opportunity, since we are live in Portugal, but in Brazil as well, and you guys never played there, so make an introduction of a brief history of your releases, all the albums you released so far, and also add a personal question of mine, that how is it possible for you guys with such a vast discography? You somehow managed to sound fresh and rotten at the same time with every single release, and the last album is no exception, and is another step up, and the band is sounding tighter than ever, and it's getting better by the day. It's like port wine. It's getting better by the day, and but somehow we all feel like you're still warming up, and there's much more to come and much excellent things to come. So how is it possible? How do you guys manage that?
Tough question. We'll try to do whatever we felt was natural, and then I guess Anders and I have just been more tight over the years because we know how each other play and what to play off each other, and then now we just get even better musicians involved in the band, and a more fun energy with people more interested in whatever that guy is doing. We just got a very good chemistry in the band, I think, now, where everybody wants to participate and be a part of things, not just ride along. And I think that shows off very healthily in what we produce with the albums too. And I think I forgot anything else. That might have been the question.
Yes, you forgot to introduce your albums and your discography to the Brazilian fans, since you never played there. So take the opportunity.
What have we done? I don't know. Okay. Yeah. So, all right. So yeah, we did our first album in 2010. Yeah. And that was just like we were just trying to find out how to do this, where we wanted to play death metal because we were death metal fans. And we recorded the album in a rehearsal studio, and that turned out the way that did, in all its imperfect glory. And after that, we recorded with the same person the second album 2 or 3 years later, and the songs I think was there, but the production is not very good. So I personally don't feel very comfortable with the album. I think the songs are good, but the production doesn't show what we could have been doing there. Then it was a few years before we made the third album in 2015. First one 10, second one 12, third one 15. That's when we started going to America. And after that, we'd be doing like long US tours. And after that, we'd be going to a studio over there with a guy we got to know who was running something called Earhammer Studio, a guy called Greg Wilkinson. And we started recording over there. And that was the first time we did Build and Lay El Sol there, which was a little bit of a long album. I think maybe too long, but I really liked the songs, and what we were writing at the time felt like this was the perfect album, but we didn't know it was going to be that long either. So it turned out to be a double LP, and I think it's great for what it is, but long. Moving on. A few years later, our bassist left the band originally, and then we got a new bassist to record a new album. We did a long tour in the US again, and we recorded Misanthropologie, and it was just songs that Anders and I had been writing, and we showed Sam, our bassist at the time, the songs in the studio, song by song, to record. And the album turned out great.
Those guys behind you, what the?
I have no idea, man. They're fired after this. We're gonna find some new guitars, the bass. We're gonna be even better.
That's a great answer.
I don't know what else.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I had to warn you that they were doing something over there.
Yeah, they're out of the band. The end. The band never did anything else because these guys became a part of it, and it just went downhill. It's not good. We're gonna have a new guitarist and a bassist for the next album, and it's gonna be really good.
Okay. We only have around 10 more minutes, and this we have lots of questions, but the time is not helping. Please, before we go, tell us about the Cult Nation 10th Anniversary Fest on YouTube. That will be online when?
25 minutes.
Is it in 25 minutes? Isn't it in 1 hour and 25 minutes, though? Well, we still haven't that figured out yet. But they're going live with us. 10 years anniversary. We worked with them before and had both live sequences and stuff early on before my time in the band, I think, going on with the Cult Nation folks. And they've always treated us nicely. So we thought we'd take our time out and spend a day in Ballade Studios in Copenhagen, right beside where we rehearse. And got a talented guy with 3 cameras to film us. And then Lasse Ballade making the sound mixing and mastering afterwards. And then we're going live in within half an hour and an hour and a half. And hopefully it's sounding okay and looking okay.
Okay, and this will be available for everyone who wants to see it, or is it a paid show?
It's for free. Just watch the YouTube channel. I think it is
available for everyone. And if you missed the live show, it's up online afterwards as well. It will be up on the Cult Nation's YouTube channel and the Undergang YouTube channel.
Okay, I will ask Antonio to share the link with us. So that JK can put it there, and people can go online and watch you guys playing live. One last question about Undergang. So we have talked about Undergang, the possibility of going to Brazil. So you guys are looking forward to to do it. The next question, and my last for tonight, is: when can we fucking see you in Metal Point Porto?
I don't know. What does Antonio say? When are we going to be back there?
Well, you were supposed to be back in May last year, remember? But fucking COVID happened.
I thought you canceled us.
Yeah. Yes.
Such a shame.
I was tired. I was tired of listening to you because I cannot listen to you anymore, man. That's
true. He's had enough.
Well,
well,
to all the Portuguese fans, Undergang is promised to be the first show that will be organized by me at Porto, Portugal, at Metal Point, because they were supposed to be part of last year's Porto Death Fest in May. But COVID happened, so that was impossible. So we had to postpone everything. But it's a promise. The band knows it, and the Portuguese fans can stay
assured.
Can rest assured that the band will come back, because they played in Portugal once already. Miguel wasn't there. Miguel was still listening to pop music back then.
Who's this girl?
This girl, my girl.
My girl.
You know, I have to tell you this, that we were, looking forward for the interview. You know what I did this afternoon? I have to be truthful, and I always am truthful. You know why? Because I was listening to Opeth when I started listening to Opeth this afternoon after lunch, and then I followed to Dream Theater, and I said, maybe I should ask Undergang if they listen to Dream Theater or any kind of progressive metal. So why not ask Undergang if they listen to different stuff, or they only listen to grunge death metal bands, or even if they have the idea of following any kind of metal that is around. So why not asking you guys if you guys listen to different kinds of music? Okay, and
I think about Dream Theater. I think "Pull Me Under" is a great song, but that's pretty much the only song by Dream Theater I can think of right now.
Pull Me Under.
Pull Me Under. I like that one.
I'm pretty concerned
around the laundry.
I just listen to death metal. When I don't listen to death metal, I usually listen to Alice in Chains or Meat Puppets. But I like other things in death metal.
I listen to all sorts of music, but in the progressive metal genre, Lethal's Programmed is the best album by far ever released. Lethal Programmed.
Okay.
I actually, I met up with an old friend last weekend, and his religion is Opeth, actually. So he told me to listen to Heritage. So actually, I've been checking it out today and yesterday as well. And it's not my thing. It's really not. I can see the whole thing. It's not me. But I listen to more 70s Rainbow, Black Sabbath, and Deep Purple is my shit. You know?
You said the magic word for JK, Black Sabbath. He was like, ok, let's translate it to Portuguese. Portanto, eu deixei a pergunta se eles ouviam outro estilo musical, isto depois de andar aqui a deambular, que tinha ouvido esta tarde Opeth e também Dream Theater, isto para contrastar com a entrevista que iríamos ter esta noite. E foi bastante interessante a resposta por parte dos Undergang, em que eles de facto mostram que não estão assim tão limitados. Não são bandas que eles ouçam habitualmente, mas ouvimos ali falar de Dream Theater, um tema específico, também andámos ali na passagem de outras bandas de death metal, mas o som mais progressivo dos anos 70 também é uma coisa que lhes agrada. E por isso é interessante. E não deixando de dizer que eles mencionaram que Black Sabbath também é uma das bandas que é obrigatória. É de facto obrigatória. E por isso fica... Oh shit! Careful! You have to wear a mask! This means that this time I will go to Antonio, who is our host and your host for this Heavy Culture Show. António, olha, obrigado por nos proporcionares esta entrevista, porque não há muitas entrevistas dos Undergang por aí, tanto quanto sei. Talvez me possas ajudar nesse sentido, saber se há ou não. Há algumas. Eu ainda estive a fazer
com a
assim
banda
uma
toda, não sei.
pesquisinha.
Com a banda toda, não sei.
Por isso, eu acho que estamos quase na altura de encerrar. E lá está, não deixem de procurar por este Cult Nation, o 10º aniversário, que vai estar no YouTube e está quase a arrebentar. Okay?
So guys, before we go, I just noticed that Jesus, our Lord and Savior from the UK, is online right now. Do you want to say something to him?
Man,
Hey, Jesus.
I
Eat my asshole.
fuck. ¿Qué tal, hombre?
¿Dónde está la
Muy bien.
Vamos a la playa, señor.
Vamos a hacer la entrevista en castellano, Antonio.
Es mejor no.
Porque me saco un ojo records.
Hey, Jesus! Jesus!
Pronto.
Okay, guys, thank you very much. I hope this was fun for you guys.
Absolutely.
I know you drink a lot, so cheers.
Okay, so before we go, let's learn the Portuguese word. Saúde means cheers. Saúde, okay?
Salud.
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 Let's have stilen.
Skål.
Steelers, Metallers.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Again, please subscribe Heavy Culture channel and keep updated with our interviews. I have to ask JK if he can already forward the next interview next week. I believe it's Exhumer, right?
Exhumer.
Exhumer na próxima semana aí, galera. Exhuma. Vamos lá, muito bom hoje, hein? Muito bom. Vamos prestigiar o evento do Undergang daqui a pouco, acho que daqui 1h20, eu acho, né? Prestigiem o evento do Undergang aí no YouTube. Agenda do Heavy Culture, terça-feira. E obrigado, Antônio, aí por proporcionar isso pra gente aí. Muitos fãs aqui no Brasil, né, do Undergang, com certeza vão curtir essa entrevista. Obrigado aí.
Cheers, you guys. Thank you again.
Galera,
It was great fun. Take it easy.
Finishing saying that you guys have to go to